Rabbi Lebekin, the rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. And I've been watching Carnival Row. Because I tried to watch The Dark Crystal, The Age of Resistance, is it called? And I got like 8 minutes in before I couldn't watch it anymore. I had to bail. Okay, first problem with Dark Crystal. We'll start with Dark Crystal. The first problem is, I saw it when I was a kid. I saw it when I was like 12, 13, and I really, really enjoyed it. And it's still pretty much the same, and I'm not 12 or 13 anymore. So to me, it looks just like a kid's show. Funnily enough, though, kids shows that I watched when I was a kid, I still like watching. I still like watching the old Thunderbirds and Captain Scarlet, and I would watch them happily. I probably enjoyed watching Dark Crystal, but I didn't enjoy it. It was too kiddie. But that wasn't the problem. Oh, before I get into the real problem with it, it was also kind of disappointing that the technology seemed to be pretty similar to that which they made the original Dark Crystal with. They didn't move it forward. It looked like a very expensive puppet show. I'm thinking, if you're going to do a puppet show in this day and age, and with the technology we have today, the template for how to do it right is Thunderbirds Are Go, which again, it was more too kiddie for me. I didn't really get that into it, but it looked great. It was a wonderful blend of like traditional puppetry and a little bit of computer generated graphics woven in. I think that really worked well. This didn't really engage me, but that wasn't the problem with it. The problem with it is I just found it too present day, to 2019. You know, it starts off. We got this idyllic planet, this idyllic world, and then this evil, malignant force comes in, and they dupe the Gelflings, the population of the world, and they take over. And they start destroying it without the people knowing. So for me, that seems like a pretty clear and on the nose analogy to how the writers view the current political situation. You had this, for what they saw, this idyllic time of the Obama years, which is really it's what, 3 years ago, and it's really romanticized now. We were all miserable then. Nobody had any money. It was horrible. But they had this idyllic time, and then this evil force came in, and he duped the population and took over. So it's for me, I think it's a very clear Orange Man bad analogy. But I still kept watching. I thought, you know what? Fine, let's just see where they're going. And again, I only got 8 minutes in. I bailed when they introduced a male and a female character, and the female one managed to get somewhere before the male one. The man one says, "How do you always do it?" He says, "'Cause I'm a girl and I'm better than you, 'cause girls are better." Or something like that. I was like, oh, okay, fine. Strike 3, you're out. Doom. Went over to Carnival Row, and I'm really glad I did, 'cause it's really, really good. It gets my strong recommendation. It's also a little bit woke. It's a little bit 2019, but it's written with some real skill and care. I saw they had Renee, I'm going to try and pronounce his name, I'm going to do it badly, Renee Echeverria, who was one of the main writers on Star Trek Deep Space Nine, who was also in the Star Trek Deep Space Nine documentary, which is fantastic, called What We Left Behind. And the core of that documentary is they get the writers' room together and they break down the plot of the first episode of a fictional season 8 of Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Really, really good. I so recommend that. I actually recommend that a little bit more than this. But this is, okay, this is just sumptuous. It looks fantastic. And yeah, it just, I wouldn't go, it goes a bit more than aesthetics. It looks good, it's written well, it's a great concept. You know what? I'm talking myself into it. I'm 2 episodes in right now. The basic plot is this. You have fairies. I wouldn't say fairies. I would say you have Shakespearean genre. You know, if you ever been forced to read A Midsummer Night's Dream in school, or you actually went to see it, if you actually saw it, the thing with Shakespeare is you've got to see it be performed. You're reading it on the page, unless you're a bunch of actors, it kind of dies. When it's performed, it's really much better. So you have like the ethereal Shakespearean stuff, like fairies and minotaurs and other like what's the word I'm looking for? Okay, fantasy elements. But when I say fantasy, I think more Lord of the Rings than this. This is much more traditional fantasy. This is pre-Lord of the Rings fantasy. But you have those elements, and you have them in an urban 19th century Sherlock Holmesian setting. It's set on some kind of some either alternative Earth or another world. Doesn't really matter. It's basically 19th century Europe with fairies and monsters in it. It stars Orlando Bloom. Orlando Bloom, who has aged very well. I always found him a little bit too pretty to like take seriously. But yeah, no, he's now he's what, in his 40s. His looks like in the mid 40s. Looks like he's had life beat him up a little bit, and he looks more like he's grown into a bit of maturity. He plays Raycroft, a police detective who starts off. He's investigating a series of murders in the Fey ghetto, in the Fey community, and you get a hint that by the end of episode 1, it's going to lead to some kind of darker conspiracy. He's a former war veteran, and when he was a veteran, he was a lover. It seems to be the husband. I couldn't really. I haven't been able to tell of the main female character, Vignette, who starts off the show. She's helping people escape from their homelands uh, and get onto a ship to get passage to the faux European country. It's called the Berg. They're heading to the Berg, which is where Orlando Bloom is the inspector. And to escape the homelands, and if they don't escape, they're all going to be killed in some kind of concentration camps or something's going on. They weren't overly clear on that. They have to get out, but to escape, to pay for their passage, they become indentured servants, essentially slaves. So they're coming in as a subclass. So the Vignette ends up working for, who are they called again? The Spurn houses, Spurn roses, who are these upper class brother and sister who are not very nice and not very clever. Last time I saw the brother, he was in, what's that show? Outlander. Is it called Outlander? The one written by the guy who did Deep Space Nine, essentially based on the books, which took Jamie from Doctor Who, from the 1960s Doctor Who, and put him in his own stories, and it was pretty good. So yeah, he was in it playing. So he's in it. What's her name? Indira Varma, I think is her name. Who was in Torchwood, who's normally fantastic. She's a fantastic again in this. She's married to Jared Harris, who's the leader of a political party. And the plot's been moving on. I'm on episode 2. The plot's been moving on at quite a reasonable pace, but really it's setting up the feel, the style, the world. And this world is fascinating and just beautifully realized. It's been greenlit for a second season. I can see why. These standing sets they made, must have cost a freaking fortune. I wish I knew where it's filmed, because they should open that up as a tourist attraction. Looks fantastic. Other things I note: there's a fantastic fairy sex sequence in episode 1 with what's the name of the actress? The actress, she was in the second group of people from Misfits. You never seen Misfits? Great show. Go and check it out. She plays a fairy prostitute. Like a lot of the fairies end up working in the underworld or working as prostitutes. And there's just this awesome fairy sex sequence in it where, as they reach the climax, if I'm going to use a euphemism, I'm not sure if that is a euphemism, but as they reach the climax, she's on top, and then she starts fluttering her wings, and she lifts up her lover as they complete their carnal act, which I all thought was really, really clever. What else is going on? There's just a lot, there's a lot of layer and texture to check out. I really recommend this show. I really, really recommend it. Let me know what you think. Go and check it out. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments in the comment section. Makes a good place to leave them. And if you disagree with me greatly, let me know. My name is Phila Becken, the Rabbi from Another Planet. Please like, share, and subscribe. Ring the little bell, little bell, little bell, little bell. Wherever it is, just ring it so you're notified when new videos drop. But most importantly, subscribe. I want to get more subscribers. Thanks so much for listening.